What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, we've chronicled what's been going on between Marvel Studios' Blade and Mahershala Ali, all the discord behind the scenes, and it feels like forever now because really this all broke out live into the public back in October of 2022, and here we are almost a full 2 years later with the movie being rewritten yet again. But aside from industry insider updates and what we've been speculating here at the channel, The Hollywood Reporter came out yesterday and dropped a full, in-depth, fully detailed article about exactly what's been going on, not only confirming some of the rumors about exactly what was going on with the plot and the characters, but also adding a lot more information as to why this film has been unable to get off the ground and why here we are a full 5 years after the announcement and it still hasn't gone to filming yet. They then talk about what the state of the current production is for Blade and how Marvel Studios is moving forward to still release this film that, yes, still somehow has Mahershala Ali attached. We're going to go through the article, read it in full. I'm of course going to annotate it where I can and talk about exactly what's going on with Blade and what to expect now moving forward for the film. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner to coincide with Deadpool and Wolverine's release. Again, all you got to do be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this broke from The Hollywood Reporter late yesterday under the headline, Why Blade Can't Cut Through Development Hell, subtitle, Hampered by Strikes and a Changing Studio Strategy, Marvel's Mahershala Ali starring vampire thriller is a case study in stops and starts. They go on to report, quote, Marvel Studios keeps trying to unsheath Blade, but the vampire thriller is stuck in its scabbard. The latest setback occurred in recent weeks when the feature lost director Jan Demange, the second Helmer to exit the project. Some sources say both sides grew frustrated by Blade's prolonged development process. Star Mahershala Ali is also said to be increasingly frustrated. Ali, who has been attached to the project since 2019, handpicked Demange after the project lost director Basim Tariq in September of 2022. At the time, Blade was in pre-production and about 2 months from principal photography, but Marvel came to believe that Tariq was not the best fit for the project according to sources. Marvel then presented Ali with a list of directors for consideration, but Ali conducted his own search after having concerns that the list largely featured filmmakers who were untested at a big studio level. Two things I want to mention before we go forward. Marvel Studios has actually been doing this a majority of Phase 4 and Phase 5, and whether or not it's about cost or Marvel Studios wanting control over the director to sort of create their movies by committee, it doesn't really explain why they have gone after such green directors, people who have very little experience doing blockbuster films, and outside a couple of names like Chloe Zhao or maybe Sam Raimi, a lot of these directors, a lot of their writers for that matter, are finding some of their first time work in Hollywood and on these Marvel movies and TV shows. Maybe it's the reason some of them have been lacking, but also, again, it's probably motivated by Marvel Studios wanting to make sure that whoever they install in the director's chair, they can have control over to make as many reshoots and cuts as they need, basically their whole movie by committee. The second thing is it's really interesting to hear Marvel Studios gave a list to Mahershala Ali and said, pick one. He said, nah, let me pick my own, and then they went with it, which means this recent news about Jan Demange leaving the project is even that more interesting because Ali handpicked him to be the director. And they actually go on to point this out. Quote, Ali at times exercised an inordinate amount of influence over the project in a way few other actors have on Marvel movies. Part of it stems from Blade's inception, which began when Ali called the studio after winning the Oscar for his work on Green Book and said he wanted to do Blade. Ali has envisioned Blade as his quote-unquote Black Panther, according to sources. Demange's Blade was batting its wings towards a shoot starting in May 2023 and hired yet another writer, True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto, also an Ali pick, to bring the script over the finish line. But it was all for naught as the writer's strike, then the actor's strike shut the movie down. But unlike several other Marvel projects that were shut down and then restarted, including Deadpool and Wolverine and the Thunderbolts, Blade instead let go of most of its actors, Delroy Lindo and Aaron Pierre among them, and went through more writers. Marvel hired Michael Green in November, and right after Demange left, go-to Marvel writer Eric Pearson, who had pleased the studio with recent work on Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, jumped in. It's been such a long road that memes of an aged Ali at the far in the future premiere of Blade took over social media after the latest Helmer parted ways. Even Wesley Snipes, who played the vampire hunter in a trio of movies released by New Line, weighed in, lordy lordy. Ali's attorney, Shelby Weisner, told THR in a recent interview that, quote, the deal was for 2019, they still haven't shot it yet, which is pretty much the craziest thing in my professional experience. On top of last year's strikes, Blade was a victim of, quote, pandemic delays and Disney's full steam ahead pivot to streaming, which forced Marvel to overproduce and overdevelop its slate. Quote, there wasn't enough attention paid to it, according to one insider. Quote, it really was a casualty of the too much era. They go on to say that could explain why Blade kept on shifting storylines and time periods. The original version that was aiming to shoot last year was set in the 1920s, according to sources, which featured Mia Goth as a vampire villain named Lilith, who wanted the blood of Blade's daughter. Mia Goth remains attached to star in the project. For another iteration under Tariq, Marvel built a massive train set, but said it was never used. Maybe passed on to a different Disney production, the new take on Blade is said to be set in the present day. It's unclear how many millions Marvel has spent on Blade, counting the development and pre-production costs. But it's not stopping now. Marvel has learned in recent years that it does not pay to be rushed into production. The studio prides itself on having a high development to production ratio, something that eludes most other companies. The new plan calls for the script to be written over the summer, then go out to directors. Marvel chief Kevin Feige holds a special place for Blade, considering the Snipes 1998 movie an eye-opener for him and inspiration to focus on B-list characters in the early days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then they follow up with his famous quote from 2017, where he brought up the fact that no one had really ever heard of Blade and that he starred in a really off the mainstream Marvel franchise and it did so well, basically in a bubble, and he took inspiration for that from the MCU. Now, for all of you making the memes and saying Ali's gonna quit, he just signed on to do Jurassic Park, that means he must be out of Blade. I cannot believe Marvel has been able to retain Mahershala Ali as long as they have for a film. I mean, by the time this thing comes out, it'll be closer to a decade than the original announcement. But if he hasn't left yet, you have to imagine he's not going to leave now. And perhaps they would have rushed this thing out if they hadn't have given Mahershala Ali the control to go out and pick a director or exercise, as they call it, the inordinate amount of influence over the project. And so, real talk, while Marvel has been effing up this movie and taking forever to get it done, the fact that they've given Mahershala Ali that sort of olive branch and control that other actors and even directors don't normally get would be the reason he would stick around, because he still wants to make this movie. There's still a lot of money to be made, as this article doesn't bring up, but we now know from the same industry insiders that nailed that plot, by the way, about it being set in the 1920s and Lilith going after Blade's daughter, that they're actually fast-tracking a Midnight Suns to come after this. Of course, how believable that is, that it's taken this long with Blade, that Midnight Suns movie will ever come. It sort of makes you scratch your head, but they fast-tracked this Midnight Suns movie, and I think that was probably part of the bargaining trip that said, hey, okay, listen, Mahershala Ali, listen, we haven't been able to do Blade yet, we're almost there anyway, you've stuck around for 5 years, might as well hang out for another 2 and get this movie done. Oh, and by the way, we'll offer you another film in Midnight Suns, but this time, they need to actually fast-track it and have that movie made, instead of taking till, say, 2030 to get the follow-up made. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, I'm all ears. It's kind of crazy that this movie hasn't fallen apart yet, but it hasn't. And according to this THR article, we are still going to get a Blade movie in the next 2 years. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. Okay, still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. The next one is next month for Deadpool and Wolverine. When we get a little closer to the release of the film, we'll start doing the daily ticket giveaways. Again, if you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply. Super simple. All you got to do be a sub, so hit the sub button, leave a comment on the video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best thing to do to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And lately, guys, I know some of you have been telling me that YouTube is actually unsubbing you for the channel. This is something that they do periodically with cleanup. So if you've been subbed at the channel for a while, go ahead and check, because there's a chance I just show up in your home feed anyway because you've been watching me and you're actually unsubscribed after you've been subscribed. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what people have been telling me for the last couple of weeks. So make sure you are subscribed, hit the notification bell, and of course, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires and Wallets. Sincerely appreciate you checking my music out. Thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.